We are back again. Another fun-filled episode on the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. You lucky people, you. Well, as I look for fun things to talk about and share my experiences in my collection, we happen to have been over here, and I have to talk about my beer pong. You know, beer pong and I have become very, very close over the last couple months. Well, I really don't play beer pong at all. It's kind of not even my type of game. Lucky. Beer pong, I mean, lucky. Beer, oh, lucky, ducky, lucky. Clucky, oh, and crispy. All right. I don't drink. I know a lot of people drink. I don't drink. I don't drink beer. I don't drink anything like that. So why would you have a beer pong machine? Well, because I saw that beer pong was becoming a popular game. People were playing beer pong. I'm a game guy. So there's nothing wrong with playing beer pong. It's a game. Okay, I'm very open-minded. See how liberal I am? So I bought this. It was almost brand new. I didn't buy it new. I bought it almost brand new when I was over at the Boardwalk Mall. And it cost a pretty penny. I forget how many thousands of dollars I paid for it, but let's put it this way: if I was a hillbilly, I would say it weren't cheap. I don't know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. I don't know what it was. I bought this, and I put this in the upstairs area at the Boardwalk Mall, and I figured upstairs they have a different clientele than they had down in the retro arcade downstairs. I wanted to have a few modern pieces that would be interesting. You're not going to find this around. And nobody had a beer pong. It was just not around. And you know why? The state of New Jersey, with the legalized games of chance, they have to certify games that are redemption machines. And I'm pretty sure, I can't swear to this, but I'm pretty sure you cannot certify a game that is in reference to alcohol. It's supposed to be for kids. So beer pong was not a certifiable game. So who had a beer pong? Well, places like Dave & Buster's that were not in New Jersey, they had a beer pong because it went along with their booze at their bar, and it was a fun game. But there were none in New Jersey. So when I came across beer pong, and I'm not running it as a redemption game, I'm like, you know, hey, that's going to be a unique game that other people don't have. Some years later, Bay Tek, who made this, came out with an exact same game, different colors, different name, and I forget what they called it, Win It or something of this nature, Toss It, I don't know what it was, but it was the arcade version that was a redemption game, and it was licensable, and they did show up in the arcades, and it's basically exactly the same game with the 10 cups and the balls and the whole thing. Same size machine, same shape. Colors were, I think, green and orange. Be that as it may, I have the only beer pong that I know of anywhere around here. I've had this now probably 8-9 years, and I can tell you this, I still haven't made anywhere near what I paid for it back. Okay? I'm simply not that kind of location that has that kind of heavy play. And it's $1 a game. They don't even put coin slots on this thing here. They don't even build them with coin slots. It's got a dollar bill acceptor that takes 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. And you could even put a second dollar bill acceptor if you wanted to on this side, but it came stock with one. Okay, and look what I found here on the floor. Look, a cigarette butt. A curse on anyone who would throw a cigarette butt on my floor. There's no smoking. No smoking. Let me throw this out. I had to touch that with my hands, and somebody had it in their mouth. I will say this for beer pong. Beer pong worked very, very well all the years that I had it until this spring. This spring, beer pong decided not to work. Well, how bad could it be? A power supply, you know, something simple. It was the main computer board, and they use computer boards of certain models, not that the company is making the computer board, but they use certain models. Therefore, the programs are for that model computer board. It's not like I go put a Dell in there or something like that. It has to be that particular model. And I found one. And it cost me, I think, about $350 plus shipping, so probably into it $400. Bought the board, put it in, and it still didn't work.
And crispy.
Well, now you got to be on the phone with Bay Tek. Why isn't it working? What do you think? Well, they suggested that it was the memory card. Okay? And I had to buy a new memory card with the program on it to see if the program was missing. And sure enough, it was. I forget what I paid for that memory card, but again, nothing is $5. It was probably over 100 something, maybe even $2. Got the memory card, plugged it in, beer pong was working. Did great. A few weeks later, the monitor goes out on beer pong. Now I had to get another monitor. And if you look at this monitor, you'll see it's a little bit small for the frame because in the bottom in the middle, you can see the HP. And normally you cannot see the brand of the monitor. The monitor would be a little bit larger to fill the space, but it makes no difference because it's there. So beer pong was working again now in the spring. It had a new board, it had a new memory card, and it had a new monitor. Away we go. Turns out that I really couldn't see all of the picture on the monitor. The picture was too far off to the right and too far down on the bottom that you couldn't see what it said on the right or on the bottom. So you call up Bay Tek and you speak to their tech support. Is there an adjustment for this? Is there, a program on the program in order to do that? No. It must be your monitor. It must be your monitor. No, it's not my monitor. So to appease them, I have to get an external monitor. And I have to connect the external monitor into the beer pong to see and prove that it's not the monitor. It's not the monitor. Well, then they decide that the program card, there's probably something wrong with the program. They're going to send me another one. Well, it's not like wave your magic wand and it's coming overnight mail. Every time they send you something, unless you pay for overnight or second day, you're waiting a week to 10 days to get it. And then it comes to the post office. And then by the time I get to the post office, and then I get it, and then by the time I get to put it in, it's weeks before the machine is working again. I get the new memory card, put it in there, and it's better. But it's not right. It's still off to the side, and it's still too low. It's just not as far off to the side, not as far. I mean, what is that? If you have the program on the card, why should it be different at all? The program is the program. You're running the program. Why is that a problem? So I lived with it all summer. You couldn't see on the far right. Didn't matter. You couldn't see on the bottom. You know who it mattered to? It mattered to me. Because when I had to go into program screens, I couldn't see anything on the side as far as selections. So I had to be on the phone with Bay Tek. I'm on this line, okay? And they tell me push the up 3 times to get to the one, because I can't see it. I'm pushing it. This is the way you program a machine. And this is absurd. The end of the summer is getting near. We're into August. And beer pong is not working at all. Done. Back on the phone with Bay Tek. Well, it must be the computer board. So they're going to send me a new computer board on an advance exchange. How much is the computer board? Over $600. But it comes with the memory card. Finally comes, 2 weeks later, put it in, doesn't work. You're back on the phone with Bay Tek and their techs. Is there anything else in the machine that could hold it back? They said no. They said, try running it without it connected to anything and see if it boots up with the computer. It boots up without the memory card. It goes into its regular DOS. So the computer's working. Put in the memory card and it doesn't work. So there's something wrong with the memory card. But I have another memory card because from my other computer. So I try it with that. It still doesn't work. Now they're going to send me another advanced replacement board and with another card. So they send me another one. Now this time the board looks a little different. It doesn't have the fan on it. Well, that's a Model 7 and you were using a Model 8. We don't have any more Model 8s here to send you. Put the 7 in, boot it up. I don't get even a picture. I can't even get just plain old boot up DOS, nothing. They send me a third one, another 7. The 7 comes, again, it doesn't work. We're already now into mid-September. This started in August. So the 7 comes, doesn't work again. Back on the phone with Bay Tek. And you never get the same technician. Lo and behold, the 7 computer requires a 4-pin connector from the power supply feeding 2 lines of 12 volts that the 8 doesn't use. So of course, I didn't have it plugged in because it didn't plug into my 8 board. Why would I even think that it would go into a 7? Fortunately, the power supply had a 4-pin. Found it, plugged it in, guess what? The 7 board came up. All because that extra power line was separate, and nobody thought to say, hey, we're sending you a 7 instead of an 8. It requires a separate power line. So now, the 7 is in. Picture's still not right. It's over to the side. A little too high, a little too low. Try this program card. It's different. Now I'm a little better on the one side, too low on the other. Every program card is different. I'm getting the picture in a different spot. It's absurd. I have 5 main computer boards here. 3 are 8s, 2 are 7s. I'm trying them all one by one with each card, with each board, and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Finally, I get one that works on the 8. The picture's a little to the side, but I can live with it. The game is working. Now, guess what? I can't power up because I can't put dollar bills into the machine. I put dollar bills in the machine, I don't get any credit on the board. Then one of the techs decides that there's a 3-pin plug that shows up on one of his diagrams as coin switch. Try jumping pins 2 and 3 on that. Jump pins 2 and 3, I get a credit. So the interface board is working. I get a credit. So what's going on between the interface board and the dollar bill acceptor? Now, after the weekend, I'm on the phone, I get a different tech. He tells me, no, the 3-pin for the coin switch, that's different than the dollar bill acceptor. He told me it was the input for the dollar bill acceptor. He says, no, that's for coin switch. We don't have coin switches on this. It only has a dollar bill acceptor. It doesn't have coin switches. Well, if it were to have coin switches, that's where it would go. Okay. So I said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a pair, a 2-wire pair, directly from the coin switch input over to the dollar bill acceptor, normally open contact, and I will get my pulse from the bill acceptor to run through the coin switch inputs. Guess what? I get credit. So now I can play. How's that?
Lucky.
Game coins up,
Lucky.
game starts. It's a little bit over to the side, a little bit low. I can live with it. Now I can't score anything. Now what could possibly be wrong with the score? There's no switches in the cups. It has lights in the cups. There's no switches in the cups. This uses a camera on the top that's looking down at the cups. So the computer program can determine that it sees a ball going into the cup. There's a diagnostic test mode for that. So you go into the diagnostic test mode and you find that the alignment is not just right. Now you got to take the whole top apart, and you got to use adjustment nut drivers to move the camera this way, that way, to get it so it's right in the field and it's just right. Get it just right, try it in test, drop the ball in, it says on. As the ball goes through, you're good to go. You play the game, it doesn't score. This is simple stuff. This is a simple game. Why should this be all this ridiculous stuff? So I try another memory card. You know how the monitor, the picture moves on the other memory card? So does the camera position. All the aligning I did on that camera, on that memory card, now is no good on the new memory card. Now I got to do it all over again, and it's not simple. Every time you switch a card, goes. What are you kidding me? I finally get one board that works on a 7 motherboard, where the picture is on the screen. It's a little short on either side, but at least it's all there. The bottom looks pretty good. The top is a little bit cut off, but I can live with it. The picture is good. And it scores. I don't dare change the memory card again. I don't dare change the computer board again. I have to go through all this hell all over again. It's in, it works. But there's always going to be something. You see on the bottom right, it says 1 of 4. It always starts with 1 credit. You need 4 to play. Why? Because the bus line from the dollar bill acceptor on the interface board of inputs has probably a shorted optic isolator. And that's holding on the contact from the dollar bill acceptor as a read. So it's getting 1 pulse. But it's $1 to play, so you need 4. So even though it says 1 of 4, you put your dollar in, it's going to start your game because it's going to go up to 5, and it's forever going to have 1 extra credit on it, because every time you start the machine, it's going to click up with 1, because I'm running on the coin slots instead of the dollar bill acceptor. And if I get a replacement of the interface board, over $600. I said I'll live with it. I mean, it's absurd. $600 for this board, $600 for that board. You know, the camera, that's another how many. What are you talking about? Best part of all, the very best part, the part that you save and to cherish for the very end, is they tell you that beer pong is almost 10 years ago that they made it, and they're going to stop support at the end of next year. So what happens then? SOS. Shit out of shit. So the best part about beer pong, I know there's a lot of best parts about beer pong, is it's so easily user-friendly. Slide this off. Now, a lot of this stuff you're going to see inside is my trash. No, it doesn't come with a keyboard laying in there. Well, why is there a keyboard laying in there? Because the beer pong boards, when you put them in, sometimes they don't like to be put in, and it tells you you have to press this key, that key, or the other key for it to reset its parameters, and you can only do that with a keyboard. So there's a keyboard. Here's a whole nother brand new 7 board, complete with the extra program card. So I have a spare. Here's the main board. I'm not even screwing it down anymore. It's ridiculous. There are posts to hold it. I'm not even doing that anymore. Forget about it. Here's your interface board, and here's your communications board. So all the inputs go into your communications board, and your input, that's your input board, then your communications board goes over to your main computer board, and in it goes. Now the 7s don't have a fan. They got a bigger heat sink. I imagine that's going to be a problem as it gets hot in there in the summer. Here you have your ball lift. This is made of wood with all cutouts. This is all made by hand.
Lucky
Well, why would they do that?
and crispy.
Because this is one of the earliest beer pongs that they made. The cups are on a wooden base. Once they went into full production, it's not a wooden base anymore. But mine, it's a wooden base because it's an original. These are regular solo cups. The bottoms are cut out and you see the LED stick inside. Why is the tape all over them? Because idiots in the summer can't just play the game. They have to try to slam the ball into the cups, and they're plastic cups held on the wood with a couple little screws, and they break the plastic. I don't have time to cut the bottom out of another cup in the middle of the summer and try to screw it in there, so I tape it together to keep it going. This is the winter. In the winter, I have to change all the cups, put new cups on them again. You won't see any tape until the next asshole comes over and smacks on the cups and breaks the cups. You can't even just buy ping pong balls. These are special ping pong balls. See the mark? The balls are double thick, so you can't dent them as easily. Notice I said as easily. Dented ball. Garbage. Garbage. These balls are about $1 a piece. How many balls are going to wreck? It's $1 to play. They lose balls, they drop them on the floor, they step on it. They put $1 in it, right? I can actually see the menu screen.
Lucky,
And I'm going to move down
ducky, and crispy.
to the diagnostic menu, and I'm going to show you. You see on the right where it says on, DBA, dollar bill acceptor. It's stuck on. There's nothing wrong with the dollar bill acceptor. It's the interface. Could I fix it? Probably. But I'm not going to bother. I'm going to live with it. You see that triangle? That's the camera looking down at the cups. The cups, the center of the cups, have to have that little red mark. See the little red mark in the center of the cup? That little red mark has to be towards the center of the cup. You're never going to get them in the center of every cup. It's not going to happen. But as long as they're near it, that means it's okay. This camera can see my hand. You see that? It can see me. And look, I'm changing the cups. I'm changing the balls went into the cups because they can see me. So if I take a ball and I throw it into cup number 1,
Lucky,
did you see cup 1 go off and on off? Cup number
crispy.
2, off on. That's how it's showing you diagnostically it's working. So with that knowledge that it's working and the knowledge that I know that this program will work with my regular board, I have to get out of the menu. So we'll push the button, hope that it lets us out. Okay. We'll put $1 in it.
And crispy.
4 clicks. Now, see, it still says 1 of 4 because it took 4 credits for the press button. It says press to start. My button is blinking, press start, and the wheel should turn to bring me balls. It's counting how many balls are coming up, and it's going to stop. See, this optic here counts the balls, so it doesn't want to overflow my balls. Then, beer pong, you're supposed to bounce the ball on the wood to go in there, but the wood I have off, so we're going to toss it. Center cup. I'm getting more balls. It gave me more balls. I already got the center cup. Let's throw a bunch of them. Watch it give me more balls. It's giving me more balls. I'm dropping balls. It's counting the balls coming back, so it knows how many balls have returned as compared to how many balls it's given me. I've only got 18 seconds to get those last 2 cups.
Great game.
I got
Want
them.
to play again?
I got them both.
You've won a prize.
Thank you. It tells me I've won a prize, but beer pong does not dispense prizes. It's another flaw of their program. And now I got to put in my name, but I'm going to put in A. All right, see that? And I got my balls. Now, people always leave balls here. I like to throw them in so they don't disappear. And beer pong is working. When you spend that much time working on a game and going through absolute torture hell, you become very close with the machine. And you have to learn all about what they did when they made it. And as much as they had a lot of information to give me, each tech didn't know it all. And I had to piece it together to get it to go. I don't think beer pong would be working if anybody else had been the mechanic. I think that would have been the end of beer pong. But he's working, and hopefully that board will work a very long time, and when it dies, I've got another one. And that's the story of the Deer Beer Pong. I wonder if the cheat mechanism is turned on. If I tried to cheat, do you hear that? Third time. It turned me off because I was a cheater reaching over. Look at all these extra balls now. People play with the balls because the balls are there. They'll drop them on the floor, step on them, and that's another $1 for every one of those balls. You gotta love it. It's actually a fun game, but it's not an economical game for me. And that's what you gotta go through when you're the field mechanic at the Retro Arcade. Here we are now, the beginning of October. This started in August, and it's running. It's the first week it's back up. I just fixed it this week. That's why I had to talk about it. So with that, you had a big education. So when you buy your beer pong, you'll know what's going on. We'll see you next time. The Main Street Randy Lamb YouTube channel. Bye, guys.